Some business grow at a phenomenal rate. Other businesses are stunted. And it have nothing to do with who brighter than who and who working harder than who. Everybody bright. Everybody reading the same books, getting the same quote of the day. Everybody working hard. But some people, the first call in the morning is the bank. The first call in the morning is the bank to say, you're late with your payment and we're cutting your overdraft. And that check that you wrote yesterday to your supplier, sorry, but you're beyond your overdraft. I had to bounce that. And then all of a sudden, the walls come tumbling down. They have some people who have been able to open 5, 10, 15, 20 restaurants. All of them 20 restaurants fail. Break them down, build new one, try new thing. And I just ask, how is it that some people have such an access to credit and some people just can't find it? The added insult to injury in this country when the banks stopped paying interest on deposit funds. When the banks stopped, because the way banks work is, I take your money and I give you 3% interest. I lend your money to Charlie and I charge Charlie 16% of it. I keep 13% to operate, 10% went to the operating cost of the bank, 3% is my profit, you get your interest. When the bank stop having to pay you interest on your money in the bank, they no longer had the cost of doing business to cover by putting credit into the economy. Worse, they've been allowed to create fees that picked up. Remember I told you earlier, 10% goes to the cost of banking? Well, they've been able to create rapacious fees. Just now, banks will have cover charges because it's $15 and $20 on every transaction, regardless of the size of the transaction. And people are realizing that banking in Trinidad and Tobago has removed credit from the economy and dried up the source of funds that people would have been using to develop business. And this is why I say, and I just want to say this to you, this is why I say a progressive empowerment party government will do two things. We will regulate the financial sector in the country. Banks will have to pay interest, and banks will have to pay interest on deposit funds, and banks will have to get permission to charge fees. The second thing we're going to do is open the economy to competition. We want 20 more banks to come in here and eat from the $5–10 billion profit that banks make a year in Trinidad and Tobago on fees. Competition allows, competition forces people to give you better service for less money. And we need that so that the average person, because it is not about a handout, but it has to be about a hand up. There has to be some way some people are accessing finance that they could run business after business after business. One man boasted that he opened 126 stores in 10 years. And I am the only ass that asked, you open a store a month for 10 years? Where you get